most valuable assets are insured correctly, allow us to give you more than just a 15-minute quote. For all your commercial, home, auto, and life insurance needs, call us today at 916-791-1901. That's 916-791-1901 or online at rickrussoinsurance.com. That's rickrussoinsurance.com. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Morgan Fussell. My company, Broadband Agreements, negotiates cable television and broadband right of entry, access, and compensation agreements for your communities. At Broadband Agreements, we offer a free review of all agreements with a signed letter of authorization. Broadband Agreements will improve your community's income and/or savings, or you don't pay us a dime. Visit us at broadbandagreements.com. That's broadbandagreements.com. Or call me, Morgan Fussell, directly at 916-939-5026. That's 916-939-5026. Broadband Agreements online at broadbandagreements.com or 916-939-5026.
News, opinion, insight. AM 1380. The Answer.
The information you obtain from this show is not, nor is it intended to be, legal advice. You should consult an attorney for advice regarding your individual situation. We invite you to contact us and welcome your calls, letters, and emails. Contacting us does not create an attorney-client relationship.
Life can be full of triumphs and tragedies, but true joy comes with knowing what really matters. Chasing Sunsets, Book 2 of the Angels Walking series from
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Saturday HOA Brunch, presented by Angius&Terry, LLP. Please sit back, relax, and join Brad Epstein and Jonathan Broderick for an hour of entertaining information about HOAs and HOA law.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome back to the studio, Brad.
Oh, I am glad to be here.
How was your trip to Hawaii?
Oh, fantastic. Oh, I had such a great vacation.
Cliff diving, snuba, snorkeling, luau's.
Oh, it was fantastic over there. I got a good chance to rest, and today I am raring to go because we have Rolf Crocker from Omni Management.
He's back, the CEO of Omni. Rolf, what's up?
Hey guys, glad to be back with you again. Always a joy and a pleasure.
Great
Exciting.
information. Our show is informational. It is fun education about HOAs, homeowners associations, and we're here to educate in a fun way. You guys, I can't wait today to play Battle of the Board Members. We have Wally and Sandy. Wally, I don't know Sandy, but Wally, I met him recently, and he is a great guy with a lot of information. We want to talk with him more than just the game, right, Jonathan?
A lot of experience. I think over 20 years he served on his board of directors for his association. On and off. I think the battle is probably going to be epic. It's going to be better than Pacquiao Mayweather. It's going to be better than Mitt Romney versus Evander Holyfield. Right, that put you to sleep, right? It could be better than Mitt Romney and Evander Holyfield last night. Saw that 5 rounds in the ring, Rolf. Did you hear about that?
I did hear about that.
Oh, boy. All right, so we're going to get into it hot and heavy today. What episode is this?
I think it's 16.
It's 16. I have perfect attendance. You realize that? Did anybody else, can they raise their hand in the studio? No.
No.
One can. Frank Jolly can.
Hand, yeah.
Frank's a legend. So, hey, if you have any questions or you want to chime in, you've got a question for Rolf, and you want to sound off, 888-923-1380, 888-923-1380, and we will answer your questions. You can also look us up on Facebook, social media. Everybody's got to have social media. The Saturday HOA Brunch.
The Saturday HOA Brunch. Today we're going to be talking with Rolf Crocker with Omni about board member relations and association management. Board member relations and association management. So I can't wait to dig into that.
And before we dig in with our shovel, Rolf, go ahead and give us a little bit of a biography again with your experience and where you've come from, where you're going, the plans for the future with Omni.
Wow, that in like 2 minutes? Seriously?
You have only 2 minutes.
Okay, well, we'll give you the Reader's Digest version. My background, I have 27 years in community association management. I've served several tours of duty in the industry, been a VP of operations. I've been a high-rise manager, on-site manager, portfolio manager. I've been on the vendor side, been with community association banking. I've been on the construction side. And my current tour of duty is CEO of Omni, which is a fantastic management company. Started in the mid-'90s, been going almost 20 years.
In Orangeville, right? The headquarters?
Actually in Fair Oaks.
Fair Oaks.
Actually in Fair Oaks, and we've got a fantastic staff, great heart, folks that want to serve, want to take care of their associations, which is really, really great.
Also, too, there is a new HOA magazine that you are putting out.
That is correct. So before the opportunity for Omni presented itself, I had worked with a partner developing a magazine specifically for HOA board members. We had run this in other test markets in 4 metro markets with 10,000 board members to great success, and we're now bringing it back. It's called HOA Director Magazine. It is dedicated information to help boards of directors, give them unbiased information that help them govern and handle their duties. And we're launching it in Northern California. First issue goes to press in about 2 weeks.
Oh, wow.
Quarterly publication.
It's a quarterly magazine, exactly. So we're starting out in Northern California. Next is Las Vegas. In fact, we just came back from the CAI National Conference where we boothed this.
Still recovering,
but had fantastic booth presence from all across the country. So we're looking to take this national in the next 18 to 24 months.
Well, that really dovetails with our show real well, because we are about HOAs and helping directors be better directors, helping homeowners enjoy their stay at their associations better.
Rolf, if someone wanted more information or possibly was interested in obtaining a copy of the HOA Director magazine, what would be the best avenue?
Probably the best avenue would be to go to our website, HOAdirector.net. That's HOAdirector.net. Go to the website. All the information is there, the sign-up information, and we'd love to have anybody who's interested visit it, and we'll make sure they get a copy of the magazine. There's no charge. There's no subscription. This is vendor-supported, so this is something that comes free of charge to the volunteer board member.
Well,
Excellent.
On this balmy Saturday, we're going to be talking all about HOA management and relations with board members. And Rolf, you don't mind if we pepper you with all kinds of questions, or if our callers call in with different kinds of questions about management?
Absolutely love it. We'll just, we'll have the conversation like we're sitting around the coffee table. And you want to find out how sausage is made? I'm willing to tell you.
Perfect. It's brunch. Okay, well then let's go. First question.
We're
targeting Rolf Crocker's intelligence today.
What?
That's an easy mark.
What is the relationship between association boards and directors in management?
Well, the challenge with that is that really it's a symbiotic relationship. And by symbiotic, we both really need each other. That relationship ultimately, though, is predicated upon trust. Trust is so difficult to build. It's so fragile, very easy to break. In fact, I think it was Gandhi who said, once trust is breached, everything else is viewed with suspicion. So developing that trust relationship at the core is the first and most crucial piece of having that relationship.
Excellent. The relationship is predicated on trust. What's the key to making this relationship work?
Well, you have to clarify the roles and responsibilities of both sides in order to understand the roles of both. What is the role of a board of directors? What is the role of the manager? What you don't want is you don't want managers that are governing, and you don't want boards who are managing. You want to make sure that each one has their roles and each one is fulfilling their roles to work together for the common outcome.
Well, how is that determined? So an association has a contract with a management company.
Correct.
And what, you look to the contract terms itself to determine exactly the relationship between the board itself running the association and the manager providing the services?
Well, it certainly starts with the contract terms, but I would even take it before the contract is to sit down with the board and define what those expectations are. One of the misnomers and the challenges of management is that there's a common theme of full service management, that we come in and we'll manage everything for one low price. And unfortunately, the realities of portfolio management is that what I would equate it more to is timeshares. Most folks understand what a timeshare is, that you get a slice of a place somewhere around the world for a period of time. And really, portfolio management is much the same, that you're buying a slice of manager's time to handle this list of expectations. So it's ultimately predicated upon the amount of time that we need to spend on the association.
Well, let's define that term. So you're saying portfolio management. Can you elaborate on that?
Absolutely. So there's different levels of management. My first tour of duty in this industry was being an on-site management, actually the employee of the association. But most associations are managed under portfolio, meaning they can't afford a full-time manager, so what they do is they come underneath a portfolio. A manager manages anywhere between 6, 10, 12, depending on the size. So that person's time and duties is getting split up among several associations to make it cost-effective for the association themselves.
Well, Frank's put on the background music, so I would assume that means it's time for our first break. I hope you're enjoying this balmy Saturday. We'll be back with more conversation with Rolf Crocker.
Life can be full of triumphs and tragedies, but true joy comes with knowing what really matters. Chasing Sunsets, Book 2 of the Angels Walking series from best-selling author Karen Kingsbury, is the story of one woman's deep longings and the sacrifices she's willing to make in search of healing. Growing up, Mary Catherine wanted for nothing, yet desperate to find a deeper meaning in her life through charity, she gave away a part of herself, but never her heart, until she met him. Chasing Sunsets, in stores April 7th.
If your community association has a good relationship with their current management company, you can stop listening. However, if you are struggling with your current service provider, we'd love to talk with you to see if Omni Community Management would be a good fit. Transparency, education, communication, and trust are just 4 of the qualities that set Omni apart. This is Rolf Crocker, CEO of Omni. Call us at 916-965-8964. That's 916-965-8964. Online at omni-mgt.com. That's omni-mgt.com. Omni Community Management, your friend in the community association management industry for over 20 years.
Have you ever heard of the saying, a person's home is their castle? Of course you have. But sometimes a construction defect can turn your castle into a catastrophe. If this happens to you, you need proper and professional representation. You need Angius&Terry, LLP. For over 30 years, the attorneys at Angius&Terry have been effectively serving homeowners and community associations, recovering more than $500 million on behalf of their clients. Angius&Terry strives to ensure that your construction defect claims are prosecuted in an aggressive and cost-effective manner. Angius&Terry will also continue to work with homeowners and community associations after the construction defect claims are concluded to make sure that the money received from builders is spent wisely and that your interests are protected during the repair process. Don't let a construction defect turn your castle into a catastrophe. Call Angius&Terry LLP today at 916-567-1400. That's 916-567-1400. Online at angius-terry.com. Angius&Terry LLP.
AM 1380. The Answer.
You're listening to the Saturday HOA Brunch presented by Angius&Terry LLP. And now your hosts Brad Epstein and Jonathan Broderick on AM 1380, The Answer.
We're back, second quarter, and it looks like our roster is full. Wally and Sandy. Wally, can you hear me?
Yes, and who's this?
This is Jonathan. How's it going?
Good, Jonathan. How are you today?
You're on the radio with Rolf and Brad Epstein, and we would like to welcome you to the Saturday HOA Brunch.
Thank you. Pleasure to be on.
Pleasure to be on. Wally, now...
Wait, first say hi to Sandy, and then let's hear from Wally.
Yeah, Sandy, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
How are you doing today, Sandy?
I'm doing very well.
Yeah, excited to play and participate today?
I am.
Great.
Sandy sounds like she's raring to go because my favorite part of the show is Battle of the Board Members. It's going to be a good competition. So, Wally, where are you calling from?
Foster City.
All right, Foster City. Here's it for Foster City.
Yeah, the old land sale place here. It's growing like crazy too. Nothing but development, which we're seeing in all the cities right now. So.
Wow.
Yeah.
Are you born and raised in Foster City, Wally?
Born and raised in Chicago, Illinois.
Excellent.
But I've been out here for 42 years, so I feel like I'm a Californian now. I think I've finally adjusted to it after all these years.
How long have you been on a board of directors, Wally? I mean, you've been on and off, I'm sure. And what do you think? You add up all your years? How many years have you been on the board of directors?
Well, I'm the original owner here. I've been at this condo. I bought it in 1973, so I've been here for 42 years. And out of those 42 years, I've been a board member for 24, and out of the 24, I've been board president for 18 of those 24 years.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wally.
so I think I paid my dues.
I think so. So, and now talk about what do you think the benefits have been for yourself being so heavily involved in the day-to-day operations of your community?
Well, I think one of the things in being in an HOA, and particularly I'm in a fairly large HOA here. It's about 280 units, 25 acres of property, and we're divided into 3 phases. And I think one of the big challenges that I tried to bring when I first got on the board after about 9 years of just being a homeowner, and I noticed that there was really a lack of involvement, community exposure. So what I really wanted to do is make people more aware of what's going on, to get them more involved in the community, because I'm more of a community activist. I like to get people involved, and I like to make people feel part of the community. And it's really hard when you live in an HOA. I think that's one of the big challenges, is the apathy that you kind of run into. So that was one of the goals I tried to bring to the members here, is to make them feel more inclusive in the property and to make them feel more involved. And it didn't necessarily mean having to serve on the board of directors. It could be on social committees. It could be on just serving on committees, just finding a way of getting helping your board of directors and your community involved. And I think the other thing, too, Jonathan, the biggest thing is this is my most important investment, and I feel too many times many people get on board of directors for personal
agendas,
and not for the right reasons. And I've always tried to been on for the right reasons. And the reason why I got on was a long time ago. They were looking to do a major assessment, and I didn't feel that was really necessary. So that's when I really started to really drill down on the reserve, looked at all the books, looked at all the things, found out what was going on, why management kept raising fees all the time, and really tried to get more of a fiscal diligence involved. And from there, the exposure, I actually got on by making my story known from the San Francisco Chronicle to the San Mateo Times to the local newspaper, The Islander. And from there, it became, more of an awareness of what we did. And then from there, I actually developed a group called United HOA. So now
that's it. Yeah, we want to hear about that.
Yeah, United HOA. That's strictly an organization in the Bay Area. Is it exclusively only to Foster City? It's all board presidents.
It is, and it's not necessarily just board presidents. We allow board members, and we elect or allow each member or board member to select a 1 or 2 committee meetings. So any HOA, let's say if they have a 5-person board, they can have representatives up to 5 people on that United HOA thing, and that we have 5 board members. We have a president, vice president, secretary, treasurer, and a director at large, and it's strictly Foster City. We started this about 5 years ago, and we now have about 27 associations, HOAs, involved in that. And there's a total of 32 HOAs in Foster City. So we pretty much have about
a monopoly.
We pretty much have 3/4. And what we've been able to do, Jonathan, is we've put a lot of education to the members, i.e., we've actually had every city council member speak before the group. We've had city staff come before the group, such things as the director of community public works, director of public community, city manager, assistant city managers, finance director. So we've had every person there, and then we bring certain speakers in for a topic. It may be somebody that wants to know a little bit about earthquake insurance, so we'll bring a representative in that's non-conflicting with. We're not wanting to endorse anybody. What we're trying to do is get education for board members to bring on to their different, if you will, different boards, and to be able to educate them, more accurately on some of the current events that's going on. And of course, right now, the big thing, as we all know, is the drought that we're seeing in here. So now we've really tackled, and we're looking at getting as much of the water rebates as we can in programs. So that's a whole process. But that's been a really effective process that we put together. And we've noticed that there's been San Mateo actually had one of these. They started one of these organizations too, strictly San Mateo. Now Redwood City has come to us, and they're looking to start. They want to start an organization, so they wanted to see how we did it. And I've gotten a lot of things on LinkedIn and Facebook too of people wanting to know. Like in South Carolina, I had one not too long ago saying, "Can you tell me, and can we get information on how you did this. So it's not just here in California. It looks like it's going national, too, that they're getting information, and they think it's really a good idea.
What's your Facebook page so people can look it up if they want to do it, say, in Sacramento or in Stockton or something?
I'm sorry?
The name of your Facebook page, social media, Wally, for your organization?
Oh, it's United HOA.
United HOA. Excellent. And then hopefully, Wally, too, you'll like us, the Saturday HOA Brunch on Facebook. We're going to check in with Sandy. How are you, Sandy?
I'm well, thank you.
And you are also on your board of directors?
I am.
Excellent, excellent. And what are some of the experiences and what have you gained from serving on your board of directors?
I've been here 14 years. I've probably been on the board of directors 8.
Mm-hmm.
And we are very active. We are a community for those 55 plus.
Wow.
And we have 185 units.
And you mean 55 years, right? So this is for it's an active adult community, Rolf?
That's correct.
And she's on one of your board of directors?
She is. She's fantastic, phenomenal heart, cares about the community, wants to do the right thing, and cannot speak highly enough about Sandy and her contributions to that association, which is Golf Greens in South Sacramento.
Thank you.
Well, Sandy, we look forward to the battle. What we said, we have 8 years, and I think Wally said that he has 24 years.
So is there a handicap number in here somewhere that we can kind of even out the playing field?
We're going to call it into Las Vegas. We're going to get the odds up on the board, and we're going to have to see what happens.
Okay.
Perfect. All right. So we're going to continue to talk a little bit about management companies and their relationships with boards of directors, and then in the fourth quarter, Wally versus Sandy. Who are you taking, Epstein?
All right, I'm ready for you, Sandy.
Yeah. I think it's an even fight. So I just want one of them to win.
It sounds like it's going to be fun.
All right,
Wally, you're so right. You always are. Absolutely.
Okay, so essentially, the associations. What do they do for the development, the services?
Well, the challenge, I think, in HOA world, I believe it was Evan McKenzie who wrote the book Privatopia. He talks about common interest developments being an experiment that became an institution. And it evolved basically since the mid-'60s in its current form to what it is today. And a friend of mine, Cliff Treese, who's been part of the Community Associations Institute, he distills down HOA operations into essentially 3 sections: into business services, governance services, and community services. And within the context of those, under business services, there's obviously asset management, there's the revenue management, which are critical tasks, because that's ultimately where the money is and where the money goes.
Absolutely, and board members care about their money.
That is everything.
The association's money.
Well, it's the single biggest investment most of us any of us will ever make is in our homes. So
Right.
it's very near and dear for a lot of really good reasons. So there's the business services, then there's the governance services. That's the board of director management. They understand their roles and responsibilities, discharging their duties. Compliance management, making sure everyone's playing by the same set of rules to allow that quality of life that they all bought in for. And then it gets down to the community services, communications management, newsletters, getting the word out, and then the actual community management, resident orientation, quality of life committees, those kinds of things.
I have a concrete question for you. So we know that board members make their decisions at meetings. So when we come back, I'm going to ask you, when should a manager give the packet for the board members to review for the meeting, and when should board members open that packet and review that packet for their board meetings when we come back?
Perfect. We'll be back.
A Silicon Valley CEO is fired for opposing same-sex marriage. A teenage girl is attacked on campus for protesting abortion. And a college club loses formal recognition for being Christian. This is the country we live in today, in America, where people are punished for expressing themselves and then bullied into silence. If you don't agree with a certain liberal agenda, you're targeted for silencing. This is Eric Metaxas, and my good friend Kirsten Powers chronicles this frightening new trend in her brand new book titled The Silencing: How the Left is Killing Free Speech. With fearless candor, Kirsten gives us example after example of men and women who've been punished for expressing opinions that have been suddenly deemed unacceptable. The Silencing is a much-needed wake-up call for everyone who cherishes liberty. Who will be the next victim of the silencing?
Kirsten Power's book, The Silencing, How the Left is Killing Free Speech, from Regnery Publishing, is now available at Amazon.com, Costco, and bookstores everywhere.
Having trouble understanding your community association's reserve study? Does your HOA's reserve study seem to be written in a strange language? Hi, I'm Robert Browning, owner of the Browning Reserve Group. At the Browning Reserve Group, we have been providing easy-to-understand reserve studies since 1999. We actually listen to our communities and help them plan for the future. Find us online at browningrg.com. That's browningrg.com, or toll free at 877-708-0600. That's 877-708-0600. Clarity from complexity, the Browning Reserve Group.
Hi, this is Rick Russo, owner of Russo Insurance Agency and Financial Services. We proudly serve Granite Bay, Roseville, Rockland, Sacramento, Lake Tahoe, and the surrounding areas. At Russo Insurance Agency, we like to say, get to know us before you need us. Our insurance agency is built on relationships and trust. If you want to be certain that your most valuable assets are insured correctly, allow us to give you more than just a 15-minute quote. For all your commercial, home, auto, and life insurance needs, call us today at 916-791-1901. That's 916-791-1901, or online at rickrussoinsurance.com. That's rickrussoinsurance.com. Thank you.
AM 1380, The Answer.
You're listening to the Saturday HOA Brunch presented by Angius&Terry, LLP. And now your hosts, Brad Epstein and Jonathan Broderick on AM 1380, The Answer.
We're back, and I'm excited because we have Wally and Sandy on the line. I can feel the tension building. They are going to duke it out in our fourth quarter. Your favorite portion of the show, Battle of the Board Members. Rolf has been here. We've been engaging in some great conversation, receiving a lot of good educational points, right? That's a great way to refer to it. These are guidelines. These are expectations that boards and their management companies, the relationships, what it consists of.
Absolutely. And tips and tricks that can help streamline, make things easier, give better understanding to the relationship as well as the process.
You reuse these tools. You can't reinvent the wheel.
No.
This is what's proven, what works, and that's why you're successful, Rolf, at being the CEO of Omni Management, and I see a bright future. And now back to this concrete question.
My concrete question is as follows. Well, first, what we need to know is that board members, they make their decisions at board meetings. That's what board meetings are all about. It's not supposed to be a social meeting and just chit-chat, but actually to be an effective board members must actually make decisions at the meetings. And so in order for board members to communicate with their manager, the manager, they go ahead and they give to the board members what's called a board meeting packet. Can you expand on the packet, when they should receive it, when should the management company give it to the board members, when the board members should go ahead and review it?
What should be in it? I'd like to know also, too, what should be in it? There shouldn't be any extra fluff, right?
Well, there's a lot of different viewpoints, as you can imagine. As many boards and management companies and managers that there are different views and flavors. But the way I would view it is that boards need to be equipped and empowered to make those decisions on behalf of their communities. That information that is relevant to their decisioning is what's critical to be in the board packet. That's going to be several components. Obviously, the minutes from the prior meeting, the agenda for the current meeting is on the front, the financial packets, but then anything else they need to decision. If there are contracts that they're looking at, renewing their insurance, perhaps there's a compliance issue in a hearing. All that information needs to be to the board of directors, and ideally that boards should be receiving that packet at least 3 to 5 days in advance of the board meeting so they can have that time to really do their homework and review everything so they're ready to come to the meeting, prepared to discuss and to decide.
Excellent. Okay, so we've discussed if you want to get active in your community, what are the signs or what are things that you can look for time frame wise? It's like, oh, hey, I've decided that I want to volunteer and be on the board of directors. Is there a process, or what would you say is the best way to engage and get involved in becoming elected?
The best way to get involved, I think Wally had referenced some of this earlier, but you need to first of all come to the meetings and start showing up and being engaged in a part of the process. there's usually a few different flavors, and if you look at Maslow's hierarchy of needs, there's a whole lot of reasons why people get involved in any kind of civic activity or opportunity. Everyone from folks who could be agendized on a particular issue to those who are civic-minded and want to serve. But the first thing would be to begin attending the board meetings, and then there's a process within the governing documents to self-nominate and to essentially put yourself up for election and get elected to the board of directors so you can spend your tour of duty serving your community.
Okay, I have a fastball question for you, Rolf.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. So when board members have their meetings, of course, the manager, the association manager, will attend the meeting. And what role should the manager play in that board meeting? Should they run the meeting? What role should they play?
Well, this again gets down to the comment that I had made earlier that if you don't define the roles and responsibilities, you don't want managers who are governing and you don't want boards who are managing. Ideally, you want the roles to be defined, but there's also strengths and weaknesses on both sides. You will have some boards that have strong leadership and can conduct a meeting, and other ones that they don't have the experience. Board members by design are generally lay people. While they may have experience in their various vocations, they oftentimes come into the boardroom not really understanding the process of governance, certainly not always well versed in Davis-Sterling, the Common Interest Development Act, and other laws that govern HOAs, where the managers ideally will be certified. They will spend time in continuing education, and they can bring that expertise to the board, and together they can define what that role looks like.
What do you mean certified?
Certified under California law, that you're not required to be certified in the state of California, but you are required to disclose on an annual basis to your boards whether you are certified or not. And there's specific language under what was originally known as AB 555, what the qualifications for that certification are. It includes steeping and training of California law.
And how can a manager become certified?
There are a couple of organizations. The statewide organization is the California Association of Community Managers, or CACM. They provide certification. Also, the national organization, the Community Associations Institute, provides certification that would both qualify under California law.
Now, it's interesting. I'm going to throw this fact out there. Managers, they get into the industry, they get certified, and what's the lifespan?
Okay, well, let me set it up this way. None of us went to the vocational counselor in high school or college and say, hey, I really want to get into HOAs. Can you hook me up?
Right.
I didn't have some burning dream when I was 8 years old to go to board meetings and essentially have a job performance review every board meeting. However, most of us that fall into this industry, if you will, have a heart to serve and take care of people. And that's what most of the good managers do.
Yeah, it's definitely it's a tough. It's a challenge when you're managing 1,000 doors. For example, you have a portfolio that maybe you have 8 associations. You have some large, some small. You have some associations where the board of directors are very engaging. It's easy to be that hub to give communication and direction and assist. And then you're out trying to pull teeth to get those simplest things achieved in these smaller associations where there's not necessarily anybody that cares.
Well, it's funny you mentioned that because even this week we had a situation that presented itself on an association that we've had for some time, and there was a particular issue that went sideways with the manager. About three or 4 months ago, it started to go sideways, and now we're trying to circle up and kind of recalibrate the board in terms of the understanding. And part of that is really issues on both sides, where the manager, being a younger manager, doesn't necessarily have the experience to know how to handle that particular situation with the board, and the board, wanting to do the right thing, essentially went off on their own to try to make an event happen and ended up not crossing some T's and dotting some I's. But to your earlier question, the average vocational life expectancy of a community association manager is 18 months.
18 months. And speaking of board members, so can we elaborate on this phrase, Rolf, that you said, and that is board members have an inherent conflict of interest. What do you mean by board members having an inherent conflict of interest?
Well, it sounds like we're coming up to the break, but just to give you the tease before the break, the tease would be, they talk about managers having a conflict of interest, understandably so. Are there kickbacks, are there relationships? But I would submit that board members have a greater conflict of interest than we do, and when we come back from the break, I'd be happy to elaborate on what I believe that conflict is.
We will elaborate, but when we get back, they're going to duke it out. Wally and Sandy.
Battle of the board members coming up.
They're each going to answer true or false questions, and we're going to crown somebody champion on this lovely Saturday. We'll be back.
There are times when people need a little extra money. Honest, hard-working people like your neighbor, or maybe you. And some banks don't always make it fast or easy. But finally, there's a company who gets it. Avant. You simply go to avantoffer.com on your computer or phone to check your rate, risk-free, with no effect on your FICO score. Complete your application in minutes, and the funds could be in your account as soon as tomorrow. If you need a loan between $1,000 and $35,000, go to avantoffer.com. Avant will give you a $50 Amazon.com gift card after you make your first payment on time. For this offer, and to check your rate risk-free, go to avantoffer.com and enter promo code LOAN. That's AVANT offer.com. Promo code LOAN. Avantoffer.com. Promo code LOAN. Loans made by WebBank and by affiliates of Avant Inc. California loans offered by Avant are made under Finance Lenders License Number 603K124. Funds are generally deposited via ACH for delivery next business day if approved by 4:30 p.m. Central Time, Monday through Friday. Amazon is not a sponsor of this promotion. Other restrictions apply. See website for details.
Hi, I'm Morgan Fussell. My company, Broadband Agreements, negotiates cable television and broadband right of entry, access, and compensation agreements for your communities. At Broadband Agreements, we offer a free review of all agreements with a signed letter of authorization. Broadband Agreements will improve your community's income and/or savings, or you don't pay us a dime. Visit us at broadbandagreements.com. That's broadbandagreements.com. Or call me, Morgan Fussell, directly at 916-939-5026. That's 916-939-5026. Broadband Agreements online at broadbandagreements.com or 916-939-5026.
The challenges presented by today's economy and rebounding housing market is forcing many homeowners association boards of directors to operate their HOAs more like a business. It's a balancing act of trying to stay solvent and still provide homeowners with quality amenities and services. One of the main challenges HOA boards are facing is attempting to recover unpaid HOA fees owed by delinquent homeowners. Collection efforts are often very time-consuming. If you want to get the HOA fees collection monkey off of your back, call ATC Assessment Collection Group. ATC is an attorney-supervised collection company, providing collection and foreclosure services to HOAs in both California and Nevada's most recognizable communities. Get back to what you actually volunteered to do as an HOA board member. Effectively oversee your community. Call ATC today at 916-641-1410. That's 916-641-1410. Online at atcacg.com. That's atcacg.com. ATC Assessment Collection Group.
AM 1380, The Answer.
You're listening to the Saturday HOA Brunch presented by Angius&Terry, LLP. And now your hosts, Brad Epstein and Jonathan Broderick on AM 1380, The Answer.
In studio with Rolf Crocker, and the anticipation is coming and is here because Sandy and Wally are going to play Battle of the Board Members. But Rolf, you wanted to wrap it up. You had a couple of comments and
absolutely
a couple of points that you wanted to just...
So the question that Brad had thrown out that we had the tease before the break was conflict of interest. Obviously, that's a term of art, and we talk about that oftentimes in regard to management. But I would submit that board members have the biggest challenge in that department for the following reasons. Number one, they're a fiduciary, and that's a term of art. I'm not an attorney. I don't play one on TV, but I have one in studio, which is even better. But a fiduciary is someone who is responsible for that which is owned by others, essentially a trustee. So right away, you have a person who is responsible for an entity, and they're having to look out not just for their own interest, but for everybody else's interest. But second to that, they're a client or a procurer of services for this organization that they're an entity of. They're a beneficiary. So there's already a conflict right away because they're benefiting from the services that they're deciding on personally as well as the group. So the third part of that is that they're also a funder of those services, and the funding is absolutely going to impact their decision. Board service comes and goes, but they're always a homeowner up from when they purchase to when they sell, and that always remains. So that funding component is important, but the biggest conflict that boards are troubled with, and I saw this again even this week, is that they're a peer of the people that they have to govern, which means they have to see Janie by the mailbox or Jack by the pool and explain why the budget has to go up by 10%, or why a special assessment might be necessary, or why action has to be taken, and still have some quality of life for their service that, as both of you know, and our board members on the phone know, you guys get paid so much to be able to take on this duty, the vacations in Cabo and so forth. No, not so much.
Yeah. Well, I don't know that they are going to retire on a pension, that's for sure.
No, exactly. So, as they say, hashtag facetious right here.
Okay, so any other points? Can we move on to Battle of the Board Members?
Well, let me just wrap it up with this. As we said at the outside, this relationship is predicated upon trust. The biggest thing to defining and managing expectations is to get the board and the manager in the same room, work together on what each side needs to do, and then manage those expectations with regular conversations going forward. If that happens, no matter what the type of board or no matter the manager, everything should be able to move forward in a progressive and proper manner.
Words of wisdom, Rolf Crocker with Omni. Now we're going to go ahead and we're going to go to Battle of the Board Members, right, Jonathan? Let
Absolutely.
me go ahead. Okay, Sandy and Wally, go ahead and yell out. Make sure that we know you're still here.
I'm here.
Can you guys go ahead and turn your radios down?
Yes, my radio's turned off.
Okay, you guys, the rules of the game are as follows. So it's going to, this is a true or false quiz. We're going to have 3 rounds. The first 2 rounds, we're going to say the questions twice, and if we fumble around and you need to ask us again, then go ahead and feel free to do so. And the last round, however, is the lightning round, and that one, you cannot ask us to repeat it. So the winner will get a $100 gift card, and the second place winner will get a $50 gift card. And so, Jonathan, who are we going to start with, Sandy or Wally?
Well, I am going to give Sandy an opportunity.
Okay.
Alphabetical order.
Sandy, I am going to ask you the questions, and then 3 questions, true or false. Sandy, you are ready, aren't you?
I'm ready.
Okay. Question, again, I'm going to say the question twice, and then you just say true or false. Number 1, board members don't always have to abide by their fiduciary duty if they rely on a manager. Board members don't always have to abide by their fiduciary duty if they rely on a manager. True or false?
False.
False. That
Got
is
it.
absolutely correct. Excellent. Question number 2. As peers of fellow owners in the community, board members should do as their fellow owners tell them to. That is, as peers of fellow owners in the community, board members should always do as their fellow owners tell them to.
False.
Good. That's correct.
Got it.
Excellent. They have their own fiduciary duty. They have to make their decisions based on their own opinion. Number 3, a manager is often responsible for execution of the association's policies and procedures. A manager is often responsible for execution of the association's policies and procedures. True or false, Sandy?
True.
Excellent.
Wow.
She got all 3 right. 1, 2, 3. Sandy got them all 3 right. Go ahead, Jonathan.
All right, Wally, are you ready for your first round of questions?
Right.
It should be a cakewalk with a man of your experience.
Well, we don't know.
We don't know that. As long
We'll
as I
find out.
I'm not really. I was never good in college with true false. So
All right.
Go, Wally.
Well, it's a 50-50 opportunity
Right.
here. First question, a management contract should be reviewed on an annual basis.
True.
Got it. It is not important for managers to invest in continuing education regarding industry's best practices because not all may apply.
False.
Got it. If an association has higher expectations for its manager, the contract for management services is often cheaper.
False.
Wow. Rolf, can you
That's it.
confirm that, Rolf? That's 3 for 3, right?
That's 3 for 3, correct. I'm the scorekeeper today, and so far we are tied.
2 contestants batting 1,000. Round 2.
Sandy, are you ready for round 2?
I'm ready.
Okay, Sandy, question number 1. Board members have a duty to inspect and inquire and review information that is provided to them by a manager. Board members have a duty to inspect and inquire and review information that is provided to them by a manager.
True.
Excellent. That's correct.
Good.
Number 2. Board members are not subject to the governing documents if they rely on a manager to interpret and enforce them. Board members are not subject to the governing documents if they rely on a manager to interpret and enforce them.
That's false.
That's correct.
Wow.
False. False. Number 3. Board members are trustees for the association in the association. Board members are trustees for the owners in the association. True or false?
True.
Excellent. 3 for 3. Great job, Sandy.
That's 6 for 6. Okay, well, the competition's a little bit stiff, Wally, but I have...
Sandy's putting the pressure on me.
I have pressure on you, Wally. Come on,
I
Wally.
have faith in you. Okay, Wally, second round set of questions. Board members are held accountable by the owners for their actions.
True.
Got it. The association should hold an annual orientation with its manager to develop an annual agenda.
True.
Got it. A fiduciary duty is not a legal obligation, but rather a guideline for how board members should act.
True.
3 for 3.
Yeah.
Tie game.
Nope. I throw in the challenge flag.
That's right.
Is not. A fiduciary duty is not a legal obligation. All right, that's all right. You still have the lightning round, Wally.
Okay.
So what's the score?
Score is Sandy has 6, Wally has 5.
Oh, okay. All right, good competition. Okay, now, Sandy, are you ready for the lightning round?
I'm ready.
Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and say it's going to be 5 questions, and you just go true or false after each one. I'm not going to repeat them, and you cannot ask me to repeat them, so I have to speak very clearly. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. Number 1, the board should develop a set of written policies that define what the board wants to see accomplished.
True.
Got it.
The manager has no role in hiring the right personnel for the right job.
False.
Right. The key to board member and manager relationships is defining and managing expectations.
True.
That's right.
Got it.
There is no inherent conflict of interest for board members serving on a board.
That's false.
That is
wow,
correct.
she chuckles.
Yeah, she's rocks. Management contracts should not be in writing, but rather discussed orally to make sure both parties understand the terms.
False.
That's correct. She got them all.
So, how'd she do, Rolf? Total score?
She has 6 and 6, or 6 and 5. That puts her at 11, Jonathan.
Is that a perfect score?
That is. She is batting 1,000.
Put a tough candidate against.
I know.
Holy
Wally.
cow!
He's all the
All right,
pressure.
Wally. Well, you know what? Let's see how you do with your lightning round. Are you ready?
Right.
Board members are responsible for the conduct of business and delivery of services to the association.
True.
Got it. The business judgment rule only applies to managers and not board members because managers are paid.
False.
Got it. Board members can sometimes be appointed to the board by managers.
False.
Got it. Managers assist owners with their routine needs such as payment of assessments.
True.
Got it. An association manager is an agent of the association.
True.
Great job, Wally. 5 for 5 in the lightning round, right, Rolf?
Rock the lightning round. They're tied on the lightning, but that one question in round 2, the challenge question that you threw in, Jonathan, it just it provided that one moment.
Oh, my gosh. Well, Wally, we want to thank you for calling in. We're going to get your information. I'll shoot you an email this week, and we'll get a gift card sent out to you. I think you said you needed to get to the farmer's market today, right, pal?
I'm getting to the farmer's market. That's right.
All right.
Hey,
I enjoyed it. Congratulations, Sandy. Good job.
Yeah. Great
Thank
job,
you.
Sandy.
Thank you, Wally. You were a worthy adversary.
Yeah.
Perfect.
I had fun, guys. It was great.
Hey, thank you.
Okay. Have a good weekend.
Sandy,
Yes,
how do you feel to be champion today?
it feels great.
Do you feel great?
Excited. This is awesome.
I
cool.
have to admit, with your resume, 8 years versus 24 years, I was kind of putting my money on Wally, but you really impressed me.
Thank you.
Excellent. Sandy, we'll get your information. We want to wish you a great weekend. We appreciate you calling in, and thanks for listening.
You're welcome.
Have a great weekend,
I will.
champion.
Thank you.
Congratulations, Sandy.
Okay, so we still have time, and Rolf, we want you to expand on. I cut you off so we could get to Battle of the Board members, but you were give us some closing thoughts and basically on anything you want to talk about. But I do, of course, like the idea of transparency. This whole issue.
Transparency and trust is everything. Without that, we have really nothing. And if there's any value set that I know that I work with my staff to just to engender in them is that we develop that trust relationship. If we make a mistake, we will make mistakes, that we bring that news quickly, that we make every effort to make it right. We won't be perfect, but we will figure it out, and we will work together to move forward.
Rolf, another week awaits us, but we have a little bit of downtime.
That's
Any
true.
more exciting plans for the weekend besides being on America's #1 HOA radio talk show?
Well, I think that almost tops it, but I've got the family at home that loves me and I love them, so we're going to go have some family time and just enjoy the weekend like hopefully all of our listeners are.
Rolf Crocker with Omni, thank you so much for joining us today.
Epstein, what about you? Getting the weed whacker out today?
Oh, yeah, I'm going to be working in the yard all weekend long.
Wow, sounds exciting. Thanks for joining us.
Have a great weekend,
Thank
folks.
you.
Thanks again
Thanks
for
for
having me. I
listening.
appreciate it.
Next time on The Phil Cowan Show.
The wonders of Obamacare continue. State exchanges are struggling right now, and many are about to shut down, Hawaii being one of them. Hawaii spent $205 million in federal funds just to set up their exchange, and to date, they've signed up all of 12,000 people. Government knows how to run things, don't they? We'll talk about it on Monday.
Phil Cowan.
Good morning.
6 to 9 on AM 1380, The Answer, and on Money 105.5 FM, weekday mornings till 8.
Could you survive 6 months without a paycheck? In retirement, you could go as long as 20 to 30 years without one. That's why you absolutely need a solid retirement plan. Ed Outland's Family Heritage Group will customize an individual plan that will help protect and grow your retirement. They specialize in Medi-Cal pre-planning and government